the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English Language. Have you got the handout? Fine. This is a difficult one to understand, and the background information, you should have the background information. What is the background information? It all started with Iran's nuclear program or policy, and the US was not at all happy. And later, European countries, including Germany, they intervened, they came to an understanding, and Iran agreed to bring down and do something about it, and the US was part of the treaty. But later what happened, when Donald Trump became the president, they walked out of that treaty, and they started, any problem? The name of Donald Trump made you laugh? Okay. So they went back on the word, and they opposed that particular treaty. They imposed new sanctions. Then many countries, like a lot of countries, rather a few countries like India, China, Japan, North Korea or South Korea, I'm not quite sure, and Turkey, all these depend on Iran for oil imports. They objected. Then what they said, fine, we'll give you a reprieve. Reprieve means what? Something like a relief kind of a thing. Break. It has two different meanings. One goes with punishment, postponing the punishment. In this context, you give some sort of a break, relaxation for 6 months, and that will end on May 2nd. This is a context, this is a background, but this is purely, please all of you remember, when I stand here and present this Hindu editorial, there are two ways of presenting. One is purely from knowledge point of view, IAS aspirants point of view. If imagine a lot of IAS aspirants are here, then they will wonder, what is this analysis? What is he talking about? They cannot relate to what I say. But the second dimension, what is the second dimension? It is not from the background information, it is not from the knowledge point of view, it is purely from language point of view. So this particular editorial, purely from language point of view. You don't have to rack your brains. Rack your brains means you spend a lot of time and worry about something, to understand what it is. You don't have to rack your brains, just look at the editorial, look at the sentences, grammar part and words, that's it. But I've given the background information in brief, that should help you to understand the editorial. Now we'll see the headline. In an oil slick, first you underline the expression oil slick. This expression has been in the limelight for quite some time. What is the reason? Where do you come across oil slicks? You come across oil slicks, please write, in high seas. Where do you come across oil slicks? In high seas. What is a high sea? What are high seas? You all must be knowing. If you take any country, the coast, some countries have the coasts. The coast belongs to that particular country. But there is a restriction. What is the restriction? The coast, 12 nautical miles, up to 12 nautical miles, belong to a particular country. The coast belongs to a particular country. But beyond 12 nautical miles, we call high seas. They're international waters. They don't belong to any particular country. High sea means what? Ocean or sea which doesn't belong to any country. So India has a coast, but we can fish, we can do anything. What is the limit? 12 nautical miles. So high seas, quite often the cargo ships, when they carry a lot of oil, sometimes a major mishap, then shipwreck, oil comes out of the ship. Then what happens? It forms a layer on the water. That thick oil layer is called oil slick. So oil slick means what? Thick oil layer on water, especially high seas. When you go to, it goes with high seas, not freshwater bodies, only marine, oceans and seas. And it makes a tremendous negative impact on the marine flora and fauna. Sometimes it happens near the coast. I think 17 or 16, there was an oil spill off the coast of Chennai. People worked day and night. A lot of people worked on war footing. War footing means what? Top priority. We are working on war footing. Please write that expression. Work on war footing. You know the word foot. So war, please write war footing. We are working on war footing means what? Top priority. And a lot of fish got killed, a lot of plants got affected because of that oil slick. So in an oil slick, what does it mean? India is testing its traditional ties. You all know the meaning of the word traditional. What are the other words? Two traditional, what are the words? Conservative, another word, orthodox. Orthodox or conservative. And the traditional ties with Iran by giving in. That's a phrasal verb. Write the meaning of give in. Means what? Yield. Yield or surrender. Also write the word surrender. By giving in to US bullying. Bully means, please write, I'm going to show later, now don't write. Bully means to intimidate, to threaten. You got the word intimidate yesterday. Do you remember? To scare. That's what it means, but I'll show you later. So the background is what? Problem between the US and Iran. And in this tussle, who is getting affected? The countries which have been importing oil from Iran. And India is one of those countries. Against that backdrop, they have written this particular editorial. Now we'll see the first sentence. Faced with the US intransigent, that's a very good word. Please write the meaning of intransigent. Uncompromising, inflexible, obstinate. Obstinate, everyday English we use the word stubborn, adamant, same meaning. See, I may use a lot of words. Those who write, you could listen and write the new words also. Uncompromising, inflexible, obstinate, stubborn, adamant, they all mean the same. Have you written those words? So, faced with the US intransigent demand means stubborn or obstinate demand that all countries put a full stop to oil imports from Iran or face sanctions. Sanction has got a positive connotation as well as a negative connotation. Positive connotation to give the permission. Sanction the leave means what? Grant. So positive. In this context, is it positive or negative? Negative. Write the negative meaning. Sanction means a threatened penalty for disobeying a law or rule. A threatened penalty for disobeying a law or rule. That is one meaning. In this context, that is a meaning. Sanction means some sort of penalty. You lose certain rights. You will be deprived of certain things. Penalty. And what is a typical positive meaning? Official permission or approval for an action. That you all know that. See how based on the context the meaning changes. So, or face sanctions, the Indian government has indicated it will zero out. Zero out is also a phrasal verb. In this editorial, a lot of 3 or 4 phrasal verbs write the meaning of zero out. One meaning, phase out. Phase out. Or reduce to zero. Phase out gradually or reduce to zero. You can understand from the words. So, indicated it will zero out oil imports after the May 2nd deadline. So, 6 months, it ends on May 2nd. Statements from the Petroleum and External Affairs Ministers suggest the government's focus is now on finding alternative sources of energy. Obviously, they have been depending on Iran, they stop. What is the solution? They have to think of alternative sources and minimizing the impact on the Indian market. Immediate impact, definitely it is going to be negative. And being in that position, what will they try to do? They will try to minimize the negative impact. Minimize the negative impact. Here, impact means negative. At last count, India was importing about 10% of its oil needs from Iran, although it had considerably reduced its intake over the last few months. The US has made it clear that Indian companies that continue to import oil from Iran would face severe secondary sanctions. So here we talk about primary sanctions, secondary sanctions. What are those secondary sanctions? Including being taken out of the SWIFT international banking system. You all must be knowing SWIFT code, they use that. I don't know what the letters stand for, I don't remember right now. But you have to remember. You all remember? Fine, that's wonderful. And a freeze on dollar transactions and US assets. Freeze. Freeze on assets. Please write, underline freeze on. Dollar transactions easy to understand, but freeze on assets means they cannot touch the assets. No words over there. In response, Indian importers, including the oil PSUs, public sector units, have decided that sourcing oil from Iran is unviable. All prospective bankers, you should know this word. Viable means what? Feasible. And one typical expression, please write the expression, commercially feasible. Commercially viable. First you write commercially viable. Commercially viable means what? Commercially feasible. Tomorrow you become a bank manager and someone comes to you with a project, bank loan. And the first thing when you see the project, back of your mind, what will be the $1 million question? You will consider only one dimension, one aspect. Which one is that? You ask yourself the question, is this project commercially viable? Is it commercially viable? If you are convinced, yes, it is commercially viable, then you look at other parameters or other conditions to sanction the loan. But at the outset, you feel it is not commercially viable, you will not sanction the loan. Very simple. So we use quite often, banking sector, commercial viability is a regular expression. So unviable means what? Opposite, not feasible, not capable of working successfully. Not feasible or not capable of working successfully. And slowly we are getting words you have learnt already. I'm going to present in red color. That means you have got that particular word, you have got it already. Now seeking, let me read the sentence and we'll see. In response, Indian importers, including the oil PSUs, have decided that sourcing oil from Iran is unviable at present. Obviously not viable. As a result, the government is seeking to explain. Seek means what? Search for something, job seeker, seeking information, seeking explanation. To explain the decision as a pragmatic one. Practical, pragmatic means what? Practical, you've got already. Practical, realistic, thinking of the reality, taken in India's best interest. Officials point to the 6-month reprieve. Remember I used the word reprieve. Write the meaning of that. One meaning, generally it goes with punishment. To prevent or suspend a punishment. Reprieve, primary meaning goes with punishment. They hold the punishment or they postpone the punishment, then we use the word reprieve. But in this context, means what? To bring relief to. So 6 months period, that is a reprieve. Some sort of relief to oil companies and the country. Have you written the meaning? So officials point to the 6-month reprieve from November 2018 to May 2019, May 2nd, to be very specific, that they received from the US. In the form of sanctions. Is that the next one? Yes? In the form of sanctions, waivers. Please write the meaning. Waive means what? Two different meanings. One is refrain from applying or enforcing. Refrain. Refrain means what? To hold back, to stay back, or not to do something. Refrain. Not to indulge in. Applying or enforcing a rule, a restriction or fee. Primary meaning it goes with fee in the field of education. In the US especially. US education is entirely different. And they don't look at your academic background. They look at overall personality. They allot percentage, 30% to academic excellence, 30% to extracurricular activities, 30% to co-curricular activities. Overall they consider and they try to give the admission. And today if you take the best university like the Harvard University, don't think based on the academic records they give the admission. They see all the aspects, curricular, extracurricular, co-curricular, everything matters over there. And surprisingly, if you take the exams, here we are not supposed to, is anything distracting? We are not supposed to take textbook to the exam center. Will you be allowed? There you can take. And last week I came to know, you can take the answers also. And there's a particular term for that. Please write the expression. They call it, it is official. What is it? Cheat sheet. You can take the cheat sheet. You can write the answer, you expect a particular question, you write the answer, you take. But usually exams, you don't get that question. They're very smart. But you have the provision to take the cheat sheet. It is like you're allowed to take the slip. Do you understand what I say? Completely different approach. Now we'll go back to the editorial. So what is it I was talking about? Wave. Usually it goes with education, it goes with fee. In this context, it goes with enforcing a rule or restriction. To import what? Iranian oil and the exemption to continue developing the Chabahar port. Where is it? Gujarat? Huh? Karnataka? Iran? Ah, okay, fine. As positive outcomes of the negotiation over the past year. Such arguments are, however, not very convincing. India has, in effect, underline the word in this phrase, in effect, now decided to cave into US. You all know the word cave. What is a cave? If you take a mountain or a rock and you have a hollow thing where usually animals go and hide, a cave. But here it is a phrasal verb. Please write. Given and cave in both mean the same. Two different meanings. First you write the typical meaning in this context. Yielding or submitting under pressure. India has given in. India has caved in. So, yielding or submitting under pressure. But the second meaning goes with buildings, roof, collapse or crumble. Collapse or crumble. That meaning goes with buildings and the roof. Have you written? Fine. Cave into US, pressure. On the issue less than a year after External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj said that India would recognize only UN sanctions, not unilateral ones. Here unilateral means from which country? The US. So they made a statement, categorical statement. We respect only UN sanctions, we don't consider the sanctions imposed by any other country. But they went back on the word because of India is not a developed country. It is a developing country. There's a saying in English, what is it? Not literally. Beggars cannot be choosers. What is it? Beggars cannot be choosers. You are at the receiving end. Beggar is always at the receiving end. Someone who is at the receiving end cannot demand. A beggar cannot say, I want an apple. When you give a banana, he cannot say, I want an apple. That is ridiculous. So beggars cannot be choosers. Like the developing countries, they always depend on the developed countries and they have to play according to the whims and fancies of the developed countries. Very unfortunate. In fact, last February, Prime Minister Narendra Modi vowed. Write the meaning of that. W-O-W, vow. This is same more or less, but vow. Vowed means what? A solemn promise. Any silent. Solemn means official, formal, ceremonial. Ceremonial. Ceremonial promise or oath or pledge. So what did he say in Iranian President Hassan Rouhani's presence in Delhi to increase India's oil intake from Iran? He promised to take more, but he had to go back on that. There are other real costs attached to the US ultimatum. Ultimatum, write the meaning. A final demand of terms, order, command, decree. This is a very good word. Other words are easy. Decree, order, usually a written one. A final demand of terms in this context. Order, command, decree. To the US ultimatum that India may have to bear. Bear means what? Experience, suffer in this context. The price of oil has already shot up above the $70 mark in April. In addition, Iran has threatened to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. That's a place, Strait of Hormuz, a key channel for global oil shipments, which would further lead to inflationary trends, not just for oil but other commodities too. So, negative chain reaction. Bear write two meanings. One is what? Endure. Endure goes with an ordeal or difficulty. Ordeal. That's a good word. Means suffering. Not simple, on a large scale. And bear, everyday English, what does it mean? Give birth to. And the other meaning of that, carry. Remember, sometime back I gave confusing verbs. What is the past participle of bear? Give birth to. Born. What is the past participle of bear, which means carry? What is the spelling of that? That you have to recollect. Endure, an ordeal or difficulty. Give birth to and carry. Any direct backlash, that's also a very good word. Please write the meaning of backlash. A strong and adverse reaction by a large number of people against a policy or a decision. Backlash, you see in the newspapers quite often. A strong and adverse reaction by a large number of people, usually against a particular policy or a decision. Have you written? Any direct backlash from Iran for its decision will also jeopardize. You have got many a time. So what is the meaning? Dangerous, risky. So please threaten, endanger. But I have brought a new word, imperil. You all know risky, endanger, threaten, imperil. Peril means what? Danger. So, jeopardize India's other interests in the country, including its considerable investment in the Chabahar port. Where is this? Why will India invest then? Is India part of that? Yes or no? Fine. Which India is building as an alternative route for trade to Central Asia. India is building, but it is in Iran. It's a joint venture. Let me know that. In the larger picture, India isn't just testing its traditional ties with Iran, but also giving in. I told in the beginning, give in means what? Yield or surrender to President Donald Trump's blatant, underline the word, first you write the meaning of blatant. Blatant means without any shame. Without any shame. Also write openly. Openly, unashamedly, means without any shame. Blatant. Generally we use it with everyday English, in everyday English. Please write one combination. Blatant lie, L-I-E. Blatant lie. You know the word lie, L-I-E. Blatant lie means what? Open. We all know that it's a lie. Still someone says, then we call it a blatant lie. Now, bully. Bully means what? I told some time back, but you did not write. Now you write the meaning. Use of force, threat, or coercion to abuse, intimidate, or aggressively dominate others. That is exactly what it means. Bully. First you write this meaning. Have you written? After his administration withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. The problem started there. Is that the last one? Now we have some more. This is the last one. Instead of engaging in what appear to have been fruitless, negotiations with the US over the past year, India, China, the European Union and other affected entities. Entity is a very good word, right? The meaning of entities, plural form. Organizations, singular, organization, institution, body, establishment, one meaning. Another meaning of that word, existence. But when it comes to individuals, some people, first you write this meaning, then I will tell. Organization, institution, establishment, body, all one group. Existence, another group. So when it comes to the second meaning of this, some people are there but no one recognizes and the presence is not felt. Then we use the expression, please write, non-entity. He is a non-entity in the group. Means what? His presence is not recognized, not an important person. Please write non-entity. Can you make out? Non-entity. Right. So, affected entities could have spent their time more productively in building a counter with an alternative financial architecture. Immune, you have got already immune. It goes with diseases, one meaning. What is other meaning? Official exemption from policies or rules or something like that. I think you got before yesterday. Immune to the US arbitrary moves. Arbitrary, you have got many a time. Means what? Not based on reason, based on whims and fancies. And write the meaning of the word counter. Counter, as a noun, you all know the meaning, but here as a verb, build a counter. Here also it is a noun, but write the meaning, opposing or as a reaction to something. Opposing or as a reaction to something. And write one expression. Counter means what? Going in the opposite direction. So write the typical expression, counterproductive. Please write counterproductive. Counterproductive means what? Are you guys listening? Please answer my question. Counterproductive means what? I asked a question. If you are listening, you will respond immediately. As simple as that. It goes without saying. Counterproductive, positive or negative? You do something and you expect a positive result, but you get a negative result. Then what do you say? Counterproductive. For that, there is one more expression. Please write the word boomerang. Boomerang, primary, it's a noun. How does it look? It looks like this. V shape or inverted V shape, a wooden thing made by, you'll be surprised to know, Aboriginals of Australia. Today, Australia, if I ask the question, white people or black people, what do you say? Whites. But Aboriginals, tribals, blacks. And these Aboriginals, long back they invented this boomerang. And surprisingly, it works on the principles of aerodynamics. Can you believe that? Principles of aerodynamics. What is its speciality? If you throw this one, they're basically hunters. They see the animal, they throw this. If it hits the animal, it falls there. It doesn't hit the animal, it comes back to the person who throws it. Based on principles of aerodynamics. That is amazing. And whoever goes to Australia, they buy this as a souvenir. What is the meaning of the word souvenir? Not souvenir, souvenir. Souvenir means what? What is the spelling? You have got this many a time. Means what? It could be a book published to remember 10 years or 15 years. Imagine this institute has completed 10 years and we publish, there's a function, we publish a book with all the pictures and success stories. That book is called what? Souvenir. But you go to Andaman and Nicobar Islands or you go to Maldives, you buy some seashells to remember the place. The seashells are called what? Souvenirs. And whoever goes to Australia, he or she buys a boomerang as a souvenir. Very popular. That's it. I think that is the last sentence, am I right? Now yesterday and the other day also, not very happy with your response. One of the reasons you did not get enough time to go through. So today what I'm going to do, I'll give you 5 minutes. Please go through all the exercises or activities. After 5 minutes I'm going to ask you, you have to respond. That is fair and acceptable. Is that okay? Yes. Only 5 minutes, do it with a focused mind, then you will enjoy. Whatever you can do, you do it. Then we'll see the answers. The word to its meaning. What is the meaning of the word blatant? Blatant means what? Done openly and unashamedly. Jeopardize. Endanger, threaten, imperil. Reprieve. One is cancel or postpone punishment. Another meaning is what? I've given 2 meanings. A sort of relief, to give relief usually from some hardship. And intransigent, uncompromising or inflexible, also stubborn, adamant, obstinate. Have I given the word obstinate? That's a good word. Pragmatic, practical and realistic. Backlash, and antagonistic reaction. I've changed the wording. Negative reaction from the public against a particular policy or a decision. Antagonistic. You have got this word. Means what? Hostile. Write the word hostile. Antagonistic means hostile. Bullying. Intimidate, subjugate or pressurize. Now we'll see the close test. In the larger picture, India isn't just testing its what? Traditional. One is what? Traditional ties with Iran, but also giving in to President Donald Trump's blatant, 2 words are there, blatant, bullying, and 2 and 3. After his administration withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, instead of engaging in what appear to have been fruitless negotiations with the US, over the past year, India, China, the EU and other, what is the number? Affected entities could have spent their time more productively in building a counter with an alternative financial architecture immune to the US's arbitrary moves. Confusing words, wave, wave. So one goes with oceans, seas, or a sort of, please write, movement. A lot of people going towards something, asking for something. Born, born. Spelling is different, meaning is also different. What is the meaning of the first word? To give birth. What is the meaning of the second word? To carry. Affect, which part of speech? Verb. You should not take so long. What is effect? Both verb as well as a noun, but generally we use it as what? Right. Next one is important. Ultimate means what? Ultimatum is like a warning. Ultimatum. Already I've got it from the passage. A sort of warning, decree, order. But ultimate means the final, the best. The final, the best. Extraordinary, something like extraordinary. Ultimate performance means what? The best performance, extraordinary performance. Now, what is the meaning of zero out? To reduce to zero. And cave in. One meaning is what? To yield or surrender. What is the other meaning? Crumble or crush. It goes with buildings. Give in. Give in also has got two meanings, same. One is surrender, yield, and the other one to crumble or crash. And give up. Give up means what? To stop doing something. Please write. Give up means to stop doing something. Gave up the idea of going abroad means what? Drop that idea. Drop something. Now, multiple meanings, sanctions, both positive and negative. What is a negative? Some sort of restriction or penalty. What is a positive? Approval. And counter as a noun, it goes with cash counter. You all know banking sector, I don't have to tell you. And counter here means what? Opposite direction. Counterproductive, counter. And oppose, counter here means what? Oppose. Bear. Now, let me ask the question, which part of speech is this? First you write, as a noun, it's an animal. Polar bear, teddy bear, grizzly bear, brown bear, different types of bears. And as a verb, one of the meanings what? To tolerate. To bear means what? To tolerate. Also write to experience. I can't bear the noise means what? I can't tolerate. For that there is one more idiomatic expression. Please write. I can't stand the noise. I can't bear the noise. I can't stand the noise. Both mean the same. And as a verb, other meanings, to give birth and to carry. Write these idioms. Friends in high places means what? Friends who are in good position, or friends with power and authority. Friends with power and authority. Imagine your friends are IAS officers and IPS officers, then what do you say? My friends are in high places. Please write the example. He is a little arrogant. He is a little arrogant. You know the word arrogant. He is a little arrogant because his friends are in high places. Because his friends are in high places. At odds with someone means not to agree against someone. At odds with someone. This one and the second one both mean the same. And the next one, not second one. What is the next one? To be at loggerheads. At odds with someone, disagree. To be at loggerheads, disagree. You don't agree. Usually friends, wife and husband, partners, quite often, not in the real sense, it happens, part of life. And the next one, bone of contention, cause of dispute. What is the other idiomatic expression? Bone of, please write this meaning. Cause of dispute. Apple of discord. Both mean the same. Bone of contention, apple of discord. Cause of dispute. So you got the idioms. The last one, what is it? The word map. Acquaintance. What is the difference between a friend and an acquaintance? Friend, very close. Acquaintance, you know him but not very close. Then you cannot use the word friend, you have to use the word acquaintance. And foe, F-O-E, means what? Enemy, right? Friends or foes means what? Enemies, enemy. Buddy, buddy means a very close friend. Very close. And generally we say childhood buddy. Childhood buddy means since your childhood, very close to you. Write the meaning of the word estranged, separated. Estranged means what? Separated. But generally it goes with couples, partners. Please write estranged wife or husband. That is your choice. Estranged wife or estranged husband means separated. And platonic. Platonic means not relationship, not physical. Not physical relationship. First you write that. Not physical relationship. Then you write pure, P-U-R-E, pure. Something, if you take a relationship, casual relationship, a little serious relationship, but some relationships, they go beyond the physical aspect, they go beyond the usual thing, and they're ready to do anything for the other person. Then we call that relationship platonic relationship. Sometimes you come across people saying, our friendship is platonic. Have you heard of that? Our friendship is platonic. And affiliation, you all know that. And rapport, here T is silent. Rapport means good understanding. Please write this word you have to use at the workplace once you get selected. Rapport means good understanding. Write one sentence you can use in future. I have a good rapport with my manager. I have a good rapport with my manager. Means what? I have a good understanding with my manager. I have a good relationship with my manager. And alliance, you all know that. It goes with political parties. So useful words. Fine. So we'll spend quickly, where did we stop the other day? Take that yesterday's handout. Have you brought? If you say yes, I will continue. Otherwise, I'll stop here. Yes. So I gave, I think I'm supposed to give the meanings of phrasal verbs and idioms, then the word map. So be into, to do something with a lot of passion. To do something with a lot of passion or interest. Please write quickly and be attentive. We have only 5 minutes. Be into means to do something with a lot of passion and enthusiasm. She is into music. She is into music. Means what? Completely involved in music. Take up, to start an activity. Please write, take up means what? Start an activity. And write one example. She has taken up painting recently. She has taken up painting recently. Go over means examine. Go over. You can also say go through, examine. Go through the papers, go over the report. Fall behind. To be behind in the race. To go back in the race. To go back, don't write the word race. It could be race usually. And write one sentence. She fell behind in her studies. It goes with studies also. She fell behind in her studies. I also write one more idiomatic expression. Please write. She is lagging behind. She is lagging. L-A-G-G-I-N-G. She is lagging behind in her studies. Idioms. Bark up the wrong tree means to catch the wrong person or to look at the wrong reason. Please write, to catch the wrong person or to look at the wrong reason. The police are barking up the wrong tree means what? They're questioning a wrong person, not the actual thief. Usually it goes with the police. The police are barking up the wrong tree. He is not the actual culprit, someone else is the culprit. To beat about the bush. If someone asks a question, I don't answer straight, but I go in a zigzag manner, then what do you say? Master is beating about the bush, means not coming to the point. Beat about the bush means not coming to the point, not telling the point, the main thing. If someone asks you, where is your nose? You can show like this, you try to show like that. Then we say, beating about the bush. Nip it in the bud. It's a very important idiomatic expression. to stop something in the initial stage. Please write, to stop something in the initial stage. To stop something, also write to remove something in the initial stage. Remove or control. To remove or control in the initial stage. And brackets, write the combinations. It goes with opposition. Please write opposition, demands, demand. Someone demands a new state. Then initially they try to control. Then we use this expression. And the last one is what? Grassroots, very important. It has got 2 or 3 meanings. First meaning you write, the lowest rung in the society. The lowest group of people, right? The lowest group of people. And I have used one word, R-U-N-G, rung, means the lowest strata or stratum. Lowest stratum. Grassroots. And write one expression. I give these expressions and I tell you, when you write the essay in the descriptive paper, if you use these expressions, you get maximum marks. No second thoughts. Please write, people at the grassroots level. People at the grassroots level. Now, confusing words. Credible. Credible means believable. Write only one word. Credible means what? Believable. And write the combination. Credible news. Credible information. Credible means what? Believable. He says something. Is it credible? Means is it believable? Creditable means praiseworthy. Praiseworthy. Praiseworthy means something that can be appreciated. Creditable, appreciable, right? Appreciable. Better expression, praiseworthy. Contend. You got this yesterday. Assert, argue. One meaning, assert. Another meaning, argue. Tell your stand with a lot of conviction. Contend. And content has got different meanings. One, content means what? Satisfied. Please write the meaning. Satisfied. And write the expression, contented person. Satisfied person. Content means self-satisfaction. Some people have a lot of cars, a lot of money, they're not happy. But some people, they don't have a lot of gadgets, or they're not very rich, but they're very happy people. Then what is the word you use? Contented. That is very important. Money you have or you don't have, that is not important. What you have here matters a lot. And PEER means what? Of the same age or status or group. Pear, one type of fruit. Pear is a fruit. Not popular in our country, in the Western countries. It belongs to the temperate region, not to tropical countries. Now, what are the words in the word map? All these words go with a typical primary level legal dimension, a case. Innocent. Here, innocent is a legal term. What is the meaning of that? A person who has not committed a crime. And a trial. When you file a case, your lawyer, the other person's lawyer, they present the case, the judge listens, all that is called what? Trial. Acquit. The judge thinks you are innocent, then you will be acquitted. Acquit means to set someone free, not to punish. Please write, not to punish. Innocent people are acquitted, they are not punished. And you file a case, then what is the word for you? Plaintiff. Plaintiff means a person who files a case. When you file a case, the other person defends himself. What is the word for that? Defendant. These two are opposite. Plaintiff, defendant. And innocent, opposite. Innocent, a person who has not committed crime. Guilty, a person who has committed crime. Then if a person is guilty, then innocent, acquitted. Guilty, convicted. What is the word? Convicted. Convict means punish. I've given these words many a time, that's why I'm doing a little fast. Innocent, opposite, guilty. Innocent, acquit, guilty, convict. The whole process, trial. Person who files a case, plaintiff. Person who defends, defendant. And finally, what is it? Judgment, or write the word verdict. Verdict. Judgment, we also say verdict. But verdict has got different meanings. The public opinion at the time of elections, we use that word. It goes with the legal dimension as well as other dimensions. That's it for today. And I would like to stop